Okay, so Mencho's alive.
And yeah, he's very much alive.
Yeah.
And now not only is he alive, he's mobile. He's not hiding in the hills at all.
So, the rumors were true. El Mencho isn't dead. He's alive, active, and more lethal than ever. And now, chilling new footage proves it, showing him personally executing members of the Hells Angels. The world was stunned, but the real reason behind these killings is even more terrifying. For years, El Mencho, real name Necio Ogaroa Carvantes, has been treated like a phantom, always elusive, always ahead of the law. His legend grew beyond that of a cartel boss. He became a ghost story whispered in the criminal underworld. But this time, he's not hiding. His direct assault on one of the most feared biker gangs on earth, the Hells Angels, sent a message that no one is untouchable. The footage shattered the myth of their dominance, revealing that even the global kings of biker culture are powerless against CJNG, the empire Mencho built. Think about it, a man the US government calls the modern-day Al Capone, hunted for decades, yet still untouchable. And this was no random act of violence. Sources claim the Hells Angels had been expanding deep into Latin America, encroaching on cartel territory in Mexico, Brazil, and Chile. That move brought them face-to-face with CJNG's wrath. The irony? The same group that built its empire through fear, intimidation, and bloodshed just became victims of a deadlier predator.
One thing in my research that kept popping up in my own mind, these dudes will kill their own. If they feel betrayed, you can have a Hells Angels patch on your back. They will kill you if you turn against them.
That account comes from an ATF agent who once lived deep undercover among them. Yet when these same agents find themselves facing cartel justice, they suddenly play the victim as if the rules should only apply one way. This is a battle of giants, and neither side fights clean. Here's why it matters. Elino's cartel isn't confined to Mexico, it's wired straight into the United States. Nearly one-third of America's drug flow is tied to his network. Every overdose in Chicago, every fentanyl bust in Los Angeles, every shooting in Houston, they all trace back to the CJNG. Those viral clips of Mencho's men executing rivals aren't just cartel theatrics. They're messages, warnings written in blood. But the videos are only the surface. Beneath them lies a story stretching from mass killings in Playa del Carmen to biker gang infiltration in Mexico. From staged deaths in California to the DA naming Mencho the world's most powerful trafficker. For years, he's been Mexico's modern-day boogeyman, a man who turned CJNG from a criminal enterprise into something far darker, a global shadow state.
It is as white collar as it gets, dude. But it is so wrapped up in high society.
It's tentacles of the seemingly what's the word I'm looking for? It's the tentacles of an octopus that you can't even get your hands on all of them to pull it off. They are the government. They are the military. They're the circle of life down there.
They're their own government, I would say.
And now, that shadow government had the Hells Angels on their knees. By 2025, they'd expanded into Mexico, Brazil, and Chile, no longer content with being smugglers. They wanted partnerships, power, and recognition. But cartels don't share power. That's the message behind the viral video, a brutal public reminder of who writes the rules. For decades, the Angels thrived on fear. Their death's head patch was meant to make enemies flinch. They waged wars, staged street battles, and built their reputation on intimidation. But when Mencho entered the picture, even that legend shattered. And that's what makes the footage so volatile. It's not just violence, it's messaging. It's a recruitment ad. A signal to every teen on TikTok that CJNG isn't just a cartel, it's the supreme force. Stronger than bikers, stronger than cops, stronger than the state itself, as one investigator warned.
Like 16-year-olds usually, okay, who they recruit on TikTok. This is the strongest cartel in Mexico. Right. They might be the most powerful cartel that's ever existed in Mexico.
That's how CJNG expands, by turning brutality into a brand. And what better symbol than the once untouchable Angels brought to their knees? Here's the part that should keep you awake. CJNG already dominates vast sections of the U.S. drug trade. Nearly 90% of Chicago's supply traces back to Mexico, with a third linked directly to Elino's network. Last year alone, Chicago saw nearly 800 overdoses, tens of thousands more across the country. Every pill, every shipment, soaked in blood. And this footage serves as a chilling reminder of whose blood runs deepest. Look at the chain reaction. A Hells Angel killed in Playa del Carmen, another sentenced in Thailand, one ambushed in Denver, another found dumped in Mexico. Each headline adds to the same message: cartels make the rules now. The U.S. government knows it too. Mencho's bounty sits at $15 million. They've chased fake deaths, seized cartel fronts, cracked down on ghost guns. Yet Mencho still walks free, still commands an army, still dares to appear on camera while eliminating rivals. That's the reach of CJNG. That's the shadow of El Mencho. And to understand why this video matters, you have to understand him. He doesn't fit the Hollywood mold, no gold chains, no loud persona. He's quiet, disciplined, almost unremarkable. More farmer than kingpin. And that simplicity is exactly what's kept him untouchable.
Last year in Chicago alone, almost 800 people died from drug overdoses. The DEA says this man is a major part of the problem. He's a rising Mexican drug lord named Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known simply as El Mencho.
Mencho isn't just another drug lord, he's a strategist. He engineered CJNG with a level of structure and precision no one thought a cartel could achieve. They scout and recruit teenagers through social media. They drug test new members the way Fortune 500 companies screen employees. Their ranks include accountants and lawyers educated at top universities and soldiers trained on secluded ranches, hardened into assassins before they ever see a city street.
100 new recruits come into this training site. They strip them of their clothing, they take their shoes, they take their electronics, everything. Because they don't want anybody tracing them. They drug test everybody. And it's not just like a piss test and DNA samples from your finger. Yes, they send it off. It's like you're trying to get a job at Goldman Sachs or Amazon.
This isn't chaos, it's choreography. Every act of violence is deliberate, strategic, and meant to send a signal. So when you see that viral clip of the Hells Angels executed by Mencho himself, don't mistake it for senseless brutality. It's theater, carefully staged power. A declaration that his organization isn't just a cartel.
The influence and of that association, of that membership in that world is, man, it's as good as it gets.
It's like being on the Yankees.
And that's why there's so much hatred for the Hells Angels and so much competition for them. They are the heavyweight champ. If you want to win the heavyweight championship, you got to knock out the champ.
And that's exactly what Alino just proved. But here's where it gets darker. The Hells Angels had already gone global. They weren't satisfied ruling the US or Canada. They wanted to conquer Asia, to claim territory in Latin America, to sit beside the cartels as equals. That hunger for power is what signed their death warrants. Yet the Angels keep pushing forward. Why? Ego. That's the real infection. To them, the patch, the death's head, isn't just a logo, it's a crown, a symbol that they rule the underworld. But in Mexico, that crown carries no weight. And let's be honest, when cartels like CJNG face rivals, they're not negotiating status, they're enforcing submission. You obey their rules, or you vanish. It's that simple. Even undercover agents who embedded themselves within the Hells Angels witnessed it up close.
I was told the Bandidos are coming to Las Vegas. Las Vegas is our territory, and they have not requested a hall pass. We expect you to shoot them before they get the kickstands down on their motorcycle. And here's the kicker. We're going to be watching you from a distance. If you don't shoot them, we are going to shoot you.
That's biker loyalty testing, but notice the contrast. Bikers whisper orders in alleys. Cartels shout theirs across the internet. That's Alino's brilliance. He doesn't merely eliminate rivals. He destroys reputations by letting the footage do the work. He doesn't only kill the Angels, he erases their legend. So why does the video matter? Because it's a cartel announcing war not just on enemies, but on the idea that anyone can stand up to them. And here's the hard truth. This is only the opening act. The story isn't just violence, it's the unmaking of a myth. The Hells Angels were never untouchable. Alino just proved it. His rise from farmer to phantom kingpin is the stuff of cold strategy. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as Elno, started life as a poor avocado farmer, became a cop, slid into small-time trafficking, did time in U.S. prisons in the 1990s, and after deportation rebuilt himself from those ashes to forge the CJN.
Number one priority for DEA and frankly, federal law enforcement in the United States.
Matthew Donahue is the DEA's top agent in Mexico and has helped uncover dozens of El Mencho's drug labs in the jungle. El Mencho's cartel is responsible for roughly a third of the drugs entering this country by land and by sea.
Think about it. From avocado fields to controlling roughly a third of America's drug flow, that's not luck, it's design. His playbook was straightforward. Move into the void left by weak and old line groups, recruit hungry young talent, forge them into soldiers, outfit them with heavy weaponry, even .50 caliber rifles and rocket launchers, and hide labs deep in the jungle. Then stretch those tentacles worldwide, from Mexico to Chicago, from Australia to Asia.
Got an enormous amount of weapons, RPGs, 50 calibers, weapons that basically has his own SWAT team.
SWAT teams, private armies, this isn't a gang, it's a paramilitary machine. And that's who the Hells Angels thought they could challenge. But Mencho's real weapon isn't firepower, it's perception. He mastered optics. No need for flashy Instagram posts like the Narco Juniors, his violence speaks for him. Public hangings, helicopters blown out of the sky, ranches turned into training grounds. And now, footage of biker gangs executed at his command. That's not chaos, it's marketing. Cartel branding at its peak. Every clip, every corpse, every headline is a billboard screaming, "We own this world." So why go after the Hells Angels now? Simple expansion. The Angels thought their global reputation could carve them a seat at Latin America's table. They imagined themselves as partners. Mencho saw trespassers. And Mencho doesn't tolerate trespassers. Take Playa del Carmen, Matubal, a Canadian angel tied to Sinaloa, executed as easily as a street-level dealer. That wasn't a hit, it was a message, don't worry your patch on my soil. This isn't their first collision. Outlaw bikers and cartels have crossed paths for years, laundering.
The first time cartel kingpin El Mencho tonight is a $15 million man. That is the U.S. government reward just increased and placed on the head of Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho.